ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंदप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापतये नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing from chapter 2 and verse number 51 we completed. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tettva manishina janma bandhavi nirmukta padam gacchantyanamayam. So by thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. So, when one engages in devotional service to the Lord by following the principles of Buddhi Yoga, as mentioned in this chapter, one can free oneself from the cycle of birth and death, and he can attain the state, he can attain the abode of the Supreme Lord, whereby he can become free from all miseries, all kinds of miseries. So this we discussed yesterday. Next verse. यदा ते मोह कलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च. So when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. So Lord Krishna now is telling, already explained in last 3 4 verses, that how by following the principles of Buddhi Yoga, devotional service, one can surpass this material existence and be promoted to the kingdom of God, the spiritual world, which is free from all material anxiety. But who can uh, be promoted to such a state? Who can exactly follow the principles of Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and so that he can become free from the cycle of birth and death? What is the qualification? The qualification is when one's intelligence is passed out of the dense forest of delusion. Till the time one is still entangled in the delusion or illusion, dense forest of illusion. This illusory energy is very powerful, and it creates illusion like deep dense forest from which to come out is very difficult. And what is that delusion? Dense forest of delusion. What is that dense forest of delusion? Dehatu buddhi. Yadate moha kalilam. Kalilam moha. Illusion. Kalilam. Dense forest of illusion. This dense illusion. Deep, very deep rooted illusion. It's very difficult to come out of this deep illusion. Even if somebody knows also about the things, it's like every one of us, at least those who are devotees, those who are reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavad Gita, they know very well that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we have nothing to do with anything of this material world. But still, again and again, we are entangled. Very difficult. We hear, we know that only Krishna consciousness is the perfect path for me, for my spiritual advancement. We know this, but still we keep something else also as our uh, goal of life, and in this way we just get entangled in order to fulfill those desires, in order to achieve those material goals in our life. So that is a dense uh, illusion, dense forest of illusion. Moha Kalila illusion. Question. इसके बाद देता हूँ. So Yadat Moha Kalilam, the dense forest of illusion. This illusion is created one after another. As soon as one identifies himself with this body, then immediately one after another, so many series of illusions are created in his life. So much so that these illusions are so powerful that he thinks those illusions to be reality and reality to be illusion. The spiritual world, which is actual goal of life, such a person whose buddhi is entangled into illusion, intelligence is entangled into a deep, dense forest of illusion. He thinks this spiritual world is actually myth, and service to Krishna is myth. Krishna, who is Krishna? And he considers this material existence to be all and all, and things, objects, people of this material world to be one's a real means a beloved person, and he becomes attached to them and forgets Krishna. Life after life, he is just means entangled in the illusion of thinking objects and people of this material world to be one's own, and forgetting the real object, spiritual world, and the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is our real master and real means a goal of life to be illusion. So that is the greatest kind. So that's why Krishna is telling here, Kalilam, Moha Kalilam. Kalilam is dense forest of illusion. Because just like if somebody enters into very dense forest, it is practically not possible for him to come out of it. He cannot understand which is the proper way for me to come out of this. Similarly, when a person situated in this bodily consciousness, the Atma Buddhi. The Atma Buddhi means bodily consciousness, considering oneself to be this body. So for him, practically, it is not possible to understand how to get rid of this bodily consciousness. Even if he hears from Bhagavad Gita, still he is unable to understand. That is why it is Kalilam Moha. But somehow or other, if somebody can come out of this dense forest of illusion, yada means when. Yada te moha kalilam, when your dense forest of illusion, te, of your vetitarishyati, means you surpass this dense forest of illusion, means you come out of this illusion. And what is the meaning of coming out of this dense forest of illusion? The meaning is that the person, at least he is situated on the platform of understanding that nothing of this material world actually belongs to me. Nothing of this material world actually can satisfy me. And nothing of this material world is actually mine. Nothing. That is the meaning of surpassing this dense forest of illusion. Tada gantasi nirvedam. Then you can achieve nirvedam, means carelessness or indifference towards material existence. Then it will not matter what is happening, who is doing what. It will not affect your consciousness. Right now, if something, anything material means situations which are not favorable for us appears before us, then we become disturbed. Why? Because of too much identification with this material existence, because of being entangled in bodily consciousness. Dehatma buddhi. So one is identifying himself to be a part of this material existence. So much so that any situation which changes which is unfavorable for his sense enjoyment. It gives him, it creates miserable situation. But as soon as through proper buddhi yoga, his intelligence is surpassed from this illusion of considering oneself to be the body, then he can attain callousness or nirvana, means indifference towards whatever is happening, indifference towards shrotavasya shrutasya cha, toward all that is to be heard and towards all that is already heard. Whatever we have heard, what we have heard, material. Krishna is talking about material things that we have heard. You work in such a way that you will achieve such great success and you will become happy. All this illusion we have been hearing since our birth. Uh, by coming in contact with this object, such person, or by achieving this material goal, I can become happy. This is hankering. This creates hankering. Hankering, understand? Hankering. The desire, intense desire to get that object or to get that situation, to achieve that particular goal by which I can enjoy and become happy. So this is Shrutasya, that is already heard. So one can become callous or indifferent to such heard things also, which we hear, which we heard previously and made our goal of life, and we became attracted towards it and we hankered for it. But the symptom of a person who has actually gotten the spiritual knowledge is that he will become indifferent to all these things which he has been hearing since childhood about getting sense enjoyment in this material world, material way, material happiness by achieving material goals. And also he will become indifferent to Shrotavasya, toward all that is to be heard. Means all those things which may come on the way that by doing something you may become happy. In this way he becomes free. Uh, uh, so buddhi vyatitarishati. So by following the path of bhakti yoga, buddhi yoga, one's buddhi or intelligence surpasses from such illusion, and then he can become indifference and become firmly fixed at the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So there are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. Generally, in this material world, people are very much attracted uh, to perform certain activities, those activities by which one can achieve this uh, material happiness, heavenly places, this higher standard of material happiness in terms of lot of money, in terms of sense enjoyment, in terms of name and fame. Then these variety of material enjoyment, in order to achieve that, people become very much attached to following rituals, those rituals of the Vedas which offer these things. Or in modern context, we can say people become very attached to performing those activities, doing those kind of business, job, studies, uh, by which one can achieve those heavenly pleasures. So this is the symptom. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahman. Uh, but on the other hand, when a person understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna in factuality or in actuality, not just theoretically, there are so many people who hear Bhagavad Gita who know, Krishna is Supreme Lord and we are his servant. We are meant to serve and love him. But then why are you serving others? Then why are you loving others? That is not factual understanding. That is just theoretical understanding. maybe that is just what you say apparent. That is just appearing to be understanding, but actually it has not gone into the heart, deep into the heart. One has not actually accepted. Our Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tatvata. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvata. Anyone who understands my birth and activities in factually that they are transcendental, then Tektva Deham Punarjanma Nayati Mamit. Then after giving up this material body, he will not come back to this material world, he will achieve me. Why he will not come back to this material world? Because when he understands the actual transcendental nature of Krishna's personality, then within the core of his heart, he will not be able to maintain any attachment for anybody else. Till the time we still maintain the attachment for somebody else in this material world, we have not actually understood anything about this. And then one must again take birth in such situation in order to fulfill one's desires for material enjoyment. But a person who has actually realized and actually understood Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, then for him, it's not at all difficult to become indifferent to the those rituals of Vedic literature, or in modern context, to become indifferent to or uninterested. We can say in other words, to become uninterested for performing those activities in this material world which are promoted so highly, which are praised so much, aiming to achieve certain heavenly places. He becomes immediately uninterested. He has no interest at all in doing material work or appreciating material work or engaging himself in the activities of sense enjoyment. For whom? One who has actually understood Krishna and his relationship with Krishna. So Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and Acharya in the line of the devotees, says, Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu Bhavato Bhosnana Tubhyam Namo Bho Deva Pitarasya Tarpana Vidhao Naham Shama Kshamyatam Yatra Yatra Kwapi Nishatta Yadava Kulottamasya Kam Satyusha Smarami Smaramakam Harami Tadalam Manne Kimanne Name. The Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee, Vaishnavacharya in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, he prays like this. What he prays, he says, O my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. O Bedim, I offer my obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. This is called indifference. The day when you are able to say no to all kinds of maya, all kinds of hankering for sense enjoyment, all kinds of material activities, all glory to you, because many people will come and they will say, oh, you do bhakti also, and you do good material activity to earn lot of money and become very nicely situated in material life also. अच्छा बढ़िया गृहस्थ भी बन जाओ और भक्ति भी करो. हाँ. लेकिन one who becomes indifferent after realizing Krishna consciousness and completeness, factually, then he says everything is okay, very nice. अच्छे से गृहस्थ बन के भी भक्ति, एवरीथिंग इज ओके, ये भी अच्छा है, वो भी अच्छा धर्म का कार्य कर रहा है, बट आई एम अनेबल टू डू इट, प्लीज फॉरगिव, आई कैन नॉट डू इट. फॉर मी दिस, आई थिंक फॉर मी दिस इज सफिशिएंट. मुझे लगता है ये सफिशिएंट है मेरे लिए. आई डू नॉट रिक्वायर टू बिकम अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स एनीथिंग एल्स. So when one loses uh, attraction or attachment for performing any other activity than service to Krishna, when one loses attraction or attachment for anybody else than Krishna, then he is to be understood properly situated on the path of devotional service. Because she understands, if I simply serve Krishna, if I simply maintain attachment for Krishna alone, then all my desires will be fulfilled. Nothing will lack in my life. Because attachment for somebody or something else or some material activity in this material world arises because of having the deep rooted desire for sensation, sense gratification. This is the only reality. Uh, One may say anything. Uh, People may say anything that I want to do good to others. That's why I'm performing this activity. Or this is my duty to maintain family, parents, society. This is my this, that. So many things people may say. But the harsh reality is that uh, a person maintains attachment for anybody else in this material world or for performing any material activities. It may be known as so-called welfare activity, but the reality is that within the core of his heart, there is deep-rooted desire to enjoy self gratification. That's all. But when a person is factually established in Krishna consciousness, then he is not at all interested to perform any activity other than service to Krishna. And he is not at all interested. He loses all attachment for anybody else than Krishna. This is the proof. This is the test how much we have become free from this bodily consciousness, or how much we have become established in Krishna consciousness. So that's why Sri Madhavendra Puri. So he pays obeisances to all karma kanda, jnana kanda, rituals, prayers, everything. But he says, I think I do not require all this thing to do. I am happy with myself doing chanting Hare Krishna. That's all. यत्र क्वापि निषद्य यादव कुलोत्तमस्य कंसदृशः. So please excuse me. He says like this. So Vedic rituals, rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulatory principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifice, says as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, etc., then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limit of Sabda Brahma or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads. So these Vedic rituals or Vedic, especially Karma Kandiya rituals or different kinds of penances, austerities, sacrifices which are mentioned. So these are necessary or required for those people who have not yet reached to the perfectional stage of accepting Krishna alone as their worshipable Lord, who has not yet reached to the platform of serving Krishna with full heart, with full devotion. For them, it may be good, so that they may get distracted from performing sinful activity towards performing pious activity. Or we can say, so that they may get situated properly on the path of performing pious activity, so that they may gradually advance. But a person who has achieved the perfectional stage, what is that perfectional stage? One who can accept Krishna as all in all. So he has achieved that perfectional stage. So she does not uh, require to follow all those rituals, all those duties, dharma, karma, yajna, dan, tapasya. He becomes free from this. But on the other hand, so somebody may say that, okay, this is for those who have achieved perfection in Krishna consciousness. If somebody has achieved perfection in Krishna consciousness, for him, he can neglect, he can become indifferent to performing rituals, all these things. But because I have not achieved full Krishna consciousness, so I must perform all my activities, material activities, dharma, karma, etc. No. Further, it is said that anybody who is performing all those material dharma, material activities, penances, austerities, but if he is not interested or if he is not developing Krishna consciousness, then all his endeavors, all his activities, performance of duties, all is just useless. There is no use. Because aradhito yadi hari tapasa tathaki. If somebody is able to worship Krishna properly with full heart and devotion, तो tapasya to thaki. What is the use of performing tapasya? So he can give up all the tapasya. But na aradhito yadi hari tapasya to thaki. But after doing all the tapasya, all the dharma, karma, uh, pitra dharma, matra dharma, desha dharma, brata dharma, deva dharma, all the dharma, if after performing all this dharma, he is not even slightly developing some affection or attachment for Krishna, then what is the use of all this dharma karma? Then also he can give up. So in a sense, the point is that by all means, one should endeavor to develop attachment for Krishna. And for that sake, if it is required to give up something, one should be willing to give up. But if somebody is not giving up attachment for either for performing material activities or for attachment for somebody in this material world, then his all endeavors are just useless, waste of time. So this is the conclusion of this verse. Okay, so we stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.